I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.
I don't usually cover these live-action Disney remakes. I usually don't even bother to watch them. But I'm a huge Lilo and Stitch fan, and this one actually looked pretty good. And alas, it is pretty goddamn good. Most of the Disney remakes I've seen, from Aladdin to Beauty and the Beast, have replicated the iconic visuals, but failed to recapture the heart and soul of the original story. Thankfully, in the hands of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On director Dean Fleischer Camp, Lilo and Stitch has that heart and soul in spades. I never came close to being genuinely moved by those other remakes, much less actually crying. When I watched the photorealistic National Geographic version of The Lion King, my eyes were drier than Ben Shapiro's wife. But in Lilo and Stitch, I teared up like 10 times. It's a beautiful retelling that hits all the right emotional notes. Yes, a remake of Lilo and Stitch was unnecessary. Yes, Disney is cashing in on my generation's nostalgia for a quick buck. But this time, they actually had the forethought to hire a director with a real passion for character and storytelling, who had an exciting vision for the reimagining.
Ew! We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind.
Or forgotten.
For the most part, the Lilo and Stitch remake is faithful to its predecessor, but it does make a few changes. As soon as the trailer dropped, the most controversial change was that Jumbo and Pleakley use a cloaking device to take human form instead of dressing in drag. It probably would have been even less realistic that people wouldn't see through the disguises in live action, but if anything, that would have made the gag even funnier. Still, the remake gets a lot of laughs out of its new conceit, with Jumbo and Pleakley struggling to get accustomed to moving in a human body and walking with 2 human feet. The remake introduces Cobra Bubbles as an active CIA agent, instead of introducing him as a social worker who later turns out to be an ex-CIA agent. I don't know why they didn't just bring back Ving Rhames. He still fits the part. But Courtney B. Vance makes for a great Bubbles. He nails the stoic, deadpan deliveries. And speaking of casting, everyone here does a great job. Sydney Agadong's Nani is a great foil for Lilo and Stitch's craziness, just like she is in the original film. Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen have a really fun dynamic as Jumbo and Pleakley. They might look different from the original, but their bickering is all the same. Amy Hill is a delightful addition to the cast as David's grandmother, who rolls around on a quad bike, gives Lilo a can of mace in case of stranger danger, and bluntly shuts down her grandson's disastrous attempts to flirt with Nani. But the shining star here is Maya Kealoha. From the trailers, it looked like they might be toning down Lilo's character. Mercifully, that's not the case. She's just as chaotic in the remake as she is in animated form. I don't know where they found Kealoha, but she's perfect. She's adorable, she's hilarious, she's a little bit crazy, and she's got a huge heart. She shares authentic little sister chemistry with Agadong, and she manages to bring Lilo's endearing friendship with Stitch to life, despite having to pretend a ping pong ball on a stick is her best friend.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Rough.
The live-action Stitch design could have gone horribly wrong. Just look at the live-action Seven Dwarfs or the original Sonic design. They could have taken this beloved little furry blue alien and turned him into an uncanny CGI monstrosity. But they absolutely nailed it. He's the perfect mix of cute and gross. And it doesn't just look like Stitch, it feels like Stitch. Bringing back Chris Sanders to voice Stitch was a smart move, on par with bringing back James Earl Jones to voice Mufasa. Anyone else trying to do Stitch's voice would sound like a cheap imitation. With Sanders making all the weird vocal noises, it's like they ripped Stitch straight from the cartoon into the live-action version. The remake skips a lot of my favourite moments from the original. It misses out Lilo's meltdown about feeding tuna to a fish.
It's fish!
It misses out Stitch's Elvis performance on the beach, and it misses out the scene where Lilo borrows $2 to adopt Stitch. But it does have the scene where Lilo plays her Suspicious Minds record through Stitch's mouth, and it also included some great new moments that weren't in the original but are just as good as anything that was. When Stitch first lands on Earth, he crashes a wedding, and there's a really fun running gag of Lilo sneaking into fancy hotels to use the hot tub and making small talk with traveling businessmen.
Hey, what are you doing?
Despite the changes, the remake still captures the essence of the story. It changes some details here and there, but it retains all the most important stuff. Lilo and Stitch is basically an unhinged version of E.T. about a lonely kid befriending an equally lonely alien who's been stranded on Earth. Lilo and Stitch imagines what E.T. would look like if Elliot and E.T. both had violent tendencies and a fierce rebellious streak. And the remake doesn't shy away from that distinction.
I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
This remake of Lilo and Stitch, like all of Disney's live-action remakes of its animated classics, is essentially pointless, and there's no getting around that. The original still holds up and it's perfect in its original cartoon form, but unlike the other remakes, with Dean Fleischer Camp in the director's chair, this version of Lilo and Stitch is just as sweet and moving and heartfelt as Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.